What's going on, guys? This is Matt Horner from Sports Mockery, welcoming all of you to the Wager Sphere for another sports betting article. Today, we are to discuss the Houston Texans and the Chicago Bears this weekend in the NFL. The Chicago Bears Week 14 matchup with the Texans. Now, I promised all of you in yesterday's college football video that I would absolutely not mention the topic of Ryan Pace, Mitch Trubisky, Deshaun Watson, Patrick Mahomes. And I promise we are not going to talk about that. That was one mention, and that's it. There will be no more mentioning of that because I'm tired of hearing about it. You're tired of hearing about it. It's in the past. It's over. There's nothing any of us can do about it. So why dwell on it? We're in the future. We're here now. And we are going to analyze this game this weekend. Houston is coming off of a pretty devastating loss for them as well, because Deshaun Watson pretty much he fumbled it by the goal line. They were down 26-20, and they had every chance to go in and win that game against their division rival Indianapolis Colts this past weekend. And Watson fumbled it away. You know, he doesn't usually do that type of stuff. He's a great quarterback. So Watson fumbled the game away, and they lost 26-20 to fall to 4-8. Meanwhile, our wonderful, amazing, and beautiful Chicago Bears. I don't even want to say it, but I'm required to. So, the Detroit Lions dispatched our Chicago Bears in Soldier Field here, in Chicago, and we lost 34-30 in pretty hilarious fashion, since we lost to the Lions, who had just fired their head coach the previous week, who had just fired their general manager the previous week, who was without their top wide receiver in the game, Kenny Golladay, who was without their upcoming star rookie running back, DeAndre Swift, who was also without their top two corners in the game, Jeff Okudah and Desmond Trufant. And the Bears still lost at home to a woeful Detroit Lions team in embarrassing fashion, up 30-20 at one point and falling 34-30 in Soldier Field. It was depressing. I don't know what else I can say about that, but there's your game recaps. So both teams coming off a loss in this one. The Bears defense has been absolutely horrible the past 3 games. They've given up an average of 300 yards passing. So it's been bad for us here, our Chicago Bears fans. It's been yet another year that we're all too used to, quite frankly, and changes need to be made. I'll just say that. So, but first, before we get into this game and get you all set to bet on it, I just want to talk about DraftKings for a minute. And I've been talking about them in every single one of these videos, and it's something that you guys really need to take advantage of. All right. Link in the description box below. Tons of great deals on DraftKings, but they have a up to $1,000 deposit bonus going on right now, guys. And you all need to take advantage of this because it's basically free money is all it is. You deposit a minimum of $5 into your new DraftKings account when you sign up, and you get 20% back of whatever that deposit is. So if you're a novice bettor, if you're new to the Wager Sphere, you put $5 in there, you get $1 for free. And you can put that money down on any of these wagers I talk about today, any of the wagers I talk about in the future, whatever you decide to put it on, your own wagers, you can do it. So why not get the free money, right? If you're listening to this, if you're watching these videos, reading the articles, you probably like to bet, or you're interested in getting into betting. So take advantage of this deal because it's good. It's up to $5,000. So if you put $5,000 in there, if you're a hardcore bettor, if you're a big D-gen like myself, you put $5,000 in there, right? You get a free $1,000. So it's a free grand. Who wouldn't want that type of money? I want that type of money. So why not sign up, right? Sign up today. Link in the description box below. Sign up with DraftKings. Get your up to $1,000 deposit bonus. With that, let us get in to this disparaging matchup between two teams that, frankly, nobody is going to care about whatsoever except people in Houston and the people in Chicago. We care about this, but everybody else in the NFL world has absolutely zero interest in a game between two teams that are playing for nothing at this point. Both teams, their organizations have been a absolute dumpster fire recently. You've got the Texans, who earlier fired their general manager and head coach. He was one and the same in Bill O'Brien. And frankly, the team has actually played way better after they fired Mr. Bill O'Brien. So he's gone. So the organization is just, it's terrible. And I feel so bad for Deshaun Watson, who is a fantastic quarterback. But if he had come, for instance, to Chicago, the team he's facing this weekend, which was a possibility, again, won't mention it, but if he did, he would not have fared any better with this organization, because this organization is about the lowest of the low. That they are down there with the scum and the rats of organizations, how they're run in sports. I don't really have much else to say about the Bears organization. You've heard my quarrels with them. Um, hashtag fire everyone. So, Phillips, Nagy, Pace, especially Pace. I don't have any trust in ownership to do the right job. So they're going to continue probably to be a dumpster fire of an organization. So you've got two teams who are bad taking on each other this weekend. In this game, I don't really have a pick on the side because both teams are equally awful. But the best player in this game is Deshaun Watson, which makes me kind of lean towards Houston, who is -1.5 right now. The Bears are getting +1.5 at home in their own home stadium against a really bad Houston Texans team, which shows you just how much the Bears have fallen off. But Watson's the best player in this game, and it really makes me kind of want to pick Houston. But I think the number's kind of right because both of these teams are bad. So I can't advocate for you to pick Houston. I can't advocate for you to pick our Bears, that's for sure. But if I had a lean in this game, I would go towards Houston simply because they have the much better player. The total, though, I think is something you should attack. 45.5 is very low to me, considering the two games that these teams have been playing recently. So the Texans, it's not really recent with them. The only thing the Texans really do any good is score and pass the football. So that's about it. Their running game is atrocious. You've got the fact that Deshaun Watson just pretty much goes off every single game. I mean, he passes for like so many yards. I mean, he just torches defenses all the time, constantly. And the Bears defense has been susceptible to that recently, and I'll get to that more in the player props here in a little bit. But the Bears, their defense has fallen off, and where their defense has lost something, the offense seems to have found it, because they have been great on offense. Hard to believe the past two games. They have scored 25 points or more in two straight games. I know it's insane, right? The Bears have scored 25 plus points in two straight games. You're telling me I'm crazy. It's the truth. They've played much better the past 2 weeks, and Mitch Trubisky has been a quarterback. I'm not saying it's because of Mitch Trubisky, but they have just played much better offensively. David Montgomery has started to get his feet under him. They've just been really good on offense. And the Texans defense, mind you, is absolutely Swiss cheese. I mean, they get gashed every single week. So to me, a 45.5 total is wrong here. Watson should be able to get his throwing the football, and the Bears, who have been really pressed the past 3 weeks, giving up yards in bunches to wide receivers and quarterbacks. And I believe the Bears will be able to score simply because they've been able to score the past 2 weeks with Mitch under center. And the Texans defense is it might be the worst out of the three teams, the Packers, the Lions, and the Texans. The Texans defense may be the actual worst defense out of those three. So I like the over in this game. I think even if the Texans get up to a huge lead in this game, the Texans, they don't care because they can't run the football. They are hyper aggressive anyway. Like, they pass the ball even when they're up big. Like that Thanksgiving game against the Lions, they were doing like trick plays and stuff, bombing things down the field when they're up big on Detroit. So, they don't have any ability. They don't care if they're up big. They're not going to run the football. So I think that just plays to an over. I like the over 45.5 in this game. Into the player props, the pool of props. So for this one, Allen Robinson, I love his over in this game. Bradley Roby, the number one corner for the Houston Texans, is suspended due to PED use. They've got that whole scandal kind of going on. You got Roby, you've got Will Fuller, and now you've got the Broncos corner who used to play for the Houston Texans. His name's escaping me right now. But all three of them played for the same organization, and it just so happens all three of them get suspended at the same time. Something fishy maybe going on there that doesn't really, strike me as coincidental. But either way, Bradley Roby is out for this game due to PED use. So who is going to cover Allen Robinson in this game for the Texans? The answer to that is simply not one person. Nobody's going to be able to cover Allen Robinson. The Texans secondary is hot garbage. So I love Allen Robinson overs in this game. Another guy to consider, like I was mentioning, David Montgomery. Houston's run defense is absolutely atrocious. They're probably the worst in the league at defending the run. I mean, they just get mashed on the ground by opposing running backs. So I love David Montgomery in this game. I love his overs on the ground in this game. I think he can absolutely destroy a terrible Houston run defense. And then the final Bears prop I like, which people may not agree with me on, Cole Kmet. He has seen much more increased usage recently, and The Walking Dead, Jimmy Graham, has not. So I like Cole Kmet overs in this game, especially over receptions. He had 7 targets last week. He had 5 catches. So I really like Cole Kmet because I think he's starting to actually get like the starter role in this offense. Like he's getting more targets, he's getting more catches, he's starting to work his way into the number 1 tight end spot for the Bears. So I like Cole Kmet at this point to go over his receptions, and I would also go with his yards prop in this game because I don't think the Texans have anybody who can possibly cover him. On the Texans side, I like Kiki Kute, what a name, and Brandon Cooks, simply because the past few weeks, this game, let's just start with this. Buster Screen, the Bears corner, the slot corner for the Bears, is going to be out in this game. Buster Screen is terrible, right? I mean, he has been so bad this year at the slot corner position. And he's going to be out, and you can just imagine how bad his replacement must be if he is better than that guy. So Kiki Kute will have a field day in the slot. I don't think it would have mattered if Screen was in there, but just imagine the backup to Screen. I mean, it's bad, right? And then Brandon Cooks. The Bears have been just destroyed down the field recently. Guys like Big Bob Tanyan for the Packers are catching 40-yard passes down the field for touchdowns. And then last week against the Lions, you got a guy named Quintez Cephas. I think that's how you pronounce his name, catching huge bombs down the field over the Bears' safeties and corners. I don't know what's going on with the Bears secondary, but they have been absolutely destroyed the past few games. And Brandon Cooks is the fastest of anybody that they've played so far. He is a speedy guy. And I don't know how they're going to defend him if they couldn't defend guys like Big Bob Tanyan and Quintez Cephas. I hope I'm pronouncing your name right. Quintez. Sorry. I can't pronounce it. But Brandon Cooks, he's going to gash him. So I like Cooks overs, Kiki QT overs, both for the Houston Texans in this game. And that's pretty much it, guys. So I lean towards Houston. I love the over. And as for props for the Bears, Allen Robinson, David Montgomery, Cole Kmet. For the Houston Texans, Kiki QT and Brandon Cooks. So with that, I will leave you guys to your betting wonders. I wish you guys great success this weekend. Don't forget, link in the description box below, DraftKings $1,000 deposit bonus. Take advantage of that. It's just free money. And until next time, guys, I will see you all in the next article, in the next video, here in the Wager Sphere from Sports Mockery. Have a good night, folks.